Anambra Deputy Governor encourages youth or others to embrace farming for food sufficiency, please. Anambra State government launches Operation Show Your Building Permit. Federal government deploys policemen in major cities ahead of 1 million man march. Plane crash in Brazil, Sao Paulo, state kills 61 persons on board. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of the core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. A very good morning to you and welcome to our breakfast news this morning. My name is Ijoma Uche. The Anambra State Deputy Governor, Dr. Onyeka Chukwu-Ibezim, has assured that the government of Professor Chukwuma Soludo will sustain efforts towards ensuring the realization of its target of empowering every youth in the state with minimum of 2 skills. Deputy Governor Ibezim gave the assurance touring the flag-off of the second batch of the 1 Youth 2 Skills scheme at the International Conference Center, Oka. Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
That the Soludo administration is poised to fulfilling its promise of raising not less than 1,000 millionaires every year in the state, said that the various schemes introduced by the government, including the 1 Youth 2 Skills, the Agric initiative themed Operation Farm to Feed, among others, are for the youths to become self-reliant and help in solving the unemployment problem in Nigeria. Deputy Governor Ibezim, while saying that the present administration prioritizes human capital development in its quest of building the future of the state, emphasized on the need for the beneficiaries of this second phase of the 1 Youth 2 Skills scheme to be serious throughout the training, disclosing that at the end there will be startup packages for those that did well in the training. The Deputy Governor encouraged youths and others to go into farming for food sufficiency, re-emphasizing Governor Soludo's warning that people who fail to farm on their empty lands across the state will soon lose them to people who may decide to farm on them, as government will revoke the certificate of occupancy and give it to the person who has been farming them for 3 years and above.
It's the way to go. The green revolution. I tell the youths, go and ask. Ask your fellow youths who have benefited where they are now. So don't just wait. Key in now. It's better done now than never.
In an interview, the state chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Chief Ifatu Obiokoye, lauded the exemplary and visionary style of Governor Soludo, noting that the 1 Youth 2 Skills scheme creates substantial hope for the youths and solves unemployment problem confronting them in this present Nigeria, and expressed happiness that the creditable performance of Governor Soludo has continued to distinguish APGA among other political parties.
And when you're talking about renewed hope, it must have substance, become part of the solution to our situation. Mr. Governor coming up with this is an encouragement, shows a man, a leader who has a clear vision of how to solve problems.
On their parts, the national president of Anambra State Association of Town Unions, Barrister Titus Abudo, and the traditional ruler of Ifitedunu, Igwe Emeka Iluno, commended Governor Soludo for being consistent with the scheme, which they said has emancipated a lot of youths from poverty, crime, and criminality, pointing out that when the youths are empowered, that the society would be a peaceful and livable place, as according to them, youths are leaders of tomorrow. Contributing, the Transition Committee Chairman for Oka South Local Government Area, Prince Chinedu Okafo, and a member of the APGA Board of Trustees, Chief Meja Ume, said that the scheme is worth emulating by other states in Nigeria, as the impact cannot be overemphasized, calling on youths in Anambra to shun social vices and seize the opportunity to learn a lifelong skills and become useful to themselves and the society at large. From International Convention Center in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
In a bid to restore sanity and orderliness in the building sector, the Anambra State government has launched Operation Show Your Building Permit, a policy aimed at curbing the menace of illegal structures in the state and its attendant issues. The Development Control Enforcement Agency team led by the chairman, Anambra State Physical Planning Board, Barrister Chike Madekwe, embarked on the exercise recently. Government House correspondent Ejika Bana takes it from here.
Exercise was carried out at Waliwo Fege in Onitsha South Council area, where illegal perimeter fences and shanties were removed. Barrister Madekwe explained that the operation is designed to enforce compliance with building codes and regulations because many builders and developers have been constructing without approval, thereby taking the government for granted. While contributing this to land disputes or lack of proper documentation, the chairman expressed concern over the financial burden of enforcement on the government, stressing that those involved will be arrested and prosecuted, and emphasized the importance of a self-building environment, pointing out that the governor's vision is for an orderly society.
We have a list we are compiling. We are giving them a window. Bring your building permits. If you don't bring it after the window, we will enforce.
Highlighting the challenges faced by the enforcement in a previous visit to the site, Barrister Madekwe said that the team encountered resistance from thugs, and with the launch of Operation Show Your Building Permits, the government has suspended all building projects requiring builders to show their permits for validation.
31st of October. Yes. Anybody, we are giving them the grace. They will not pay penalty. Bring your documents. We will look at it. If it's not in order and it can be approved, because there are two different things. There are things you have built that are not approvable. There are those that can be approved. Those ones that can be approved will be revalidated and will be issued an approval. The ones that can be approved will be removed.
The operation is expected to be replicated in other areas of the state, making a new era in building regulation enforcement in Anambra State.
The Nigerian Plastics Solutions Activity and the Anambra State Waste Management Authority, ASWAMA, has held a plastic waste recycling engagement for stakeholders in the state. The stakeholders' engagement, which took place in Oka, was targeted to highlight and shared commitment to creating a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable Anambra State through strategic partnerships and innovative waste management solutions. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike filed this report.
Over 160 stakeholders, including government officials, community leaders, environmental experts, and representatives from various organizations. The Nigerian Plastic Solutions Activity, an initiative led by TechnoServe, has the United States Agency for International Development and Coca-Cola Foundation as partners. It is dedicated to intercepting plastic waste at the source and transforming it into valuable resources, creating jobs and fostering sustainable communities, and exemplify the commitments of USAID, Coca-Cola Foundation, and TechnoServe to environmental sustainability and economic development in Nigeria. TechnoServe itself is a leading international development non-profit that harnesses the power of private sector to help beneficiaries lift themselves out of poverty. Nigeria contributes significantly to global plastic waste, with just 12% being recycled, which has made plastic pollution a major social problem in the country, says the country director of TechnoServe Nigeria, Adesuwa Akimbora, at the stakeholders' engagements, represented by the senior program manager, Bennett Obasiohia. Akimbora said that this is why the Nigeria Plastic Solutions Activity aims at recycling 49,000 metric tons of plastic waste in 2 years, with 29,000 tons targeted from Anambra, which is expected to boost local economics and create sustainable livelihoods. The TechnoServe boss stated that the vision can only be achieved through strategic collaboration across all levels of leadership, urging stakeholders to work together as the success of the initiative depends on collective action.
We therefore use this opportunity to send a clarion call to all stakeholders in Anambra State to work with us in this concerted effort to clear plastic waste from our streets and waterways. This collaboration is critical to ensuring the success of the project and in attaining the ultimate goal of protecting the environment and providing jobs and keeping our children healthy.
I am confident that our discussions will be fruitful and pave the way for impactful actions that will benefit our state. We are excited about these possibilities that this partnership unfolds, and we are committed to working closely with you to ensure the success of this initiative.
The stakeholders' engagement featured paper presentation from the chairman, governing board of ASWAMA, Professor Emma Ezenwaji, a senior business advisor, Mr. Franklin Mwibe, and Reverend Father Jude Ezanokwase. Other presentations were also made by the Waste Pickers Association of Nigeria, the Anambra State Waste Recyclers Association, and Plastic Aggregators. The managing director of ASWAMA, Mr. Mike Ozemena, also appreciated the partners and stakeholders for their support. In Oka, Chibuzo Bidike, ABS News.
The 18th Obaru Diocesan Women Conference has ended with a call on Christians to always seek the will of God in all their endeavors. A Bishop of Obaru Diocese, Right Reverend Prosper Ama, made a call during the conference held at St. James Anglican Church, Iowa Odepe, in Obaru local government area. The report.
Right Reverend Ama, who noted that the will of God remains the ultimate, regretted that a lot of Christians have neglected to seek the will of God concerning their lives, which has resulted to a series of problems and challenges facing them, while calling on political leaders to always seek the will of God for the good of the masses.
The will of God remains the ultimate. Once anyone goes by that option, the will of God, God takes responsibility.
Earlier in her presidential address with the team, "That will be done, O Lord, not mine," the president of Obaru Diocesan Women Conference, Dr. Mrs. Uche Ama, challenged mothers to cultivate the life of prayer, study the word of God, and be committed to the things of the Lord for the will of God to be manifested in their lives. Dr. Ama commended Governor Soludo for rebuilding Okpoko into a new heaven and for other massive road construction projects going on in various parts of the state.
The Lord gave us a successful conference as compared to the previous ones. We had so many improvements in all units of the Mothers Union.
In her speech, the president of Women's Ministry, Province on the Niger, and Oka Diocese, Dr. Mrs. Martha Ibezim, commended Dr. Mrs. Ama for delivering an address which she described as apt considering the situation of the country. Dr. Ibezim also called on mothers to always seek the face of God to know His will concerning their families and endeavors in order to have a sense of fulfillment, spiritual growth, and drive of the Holy Spirit. The Transition Committee Chairman of Obaru Council Area, Mr. Franklin Wadialo, explained that the will of God must prevail in whatever one is struggling to achieve in life, and called on the people of the council area to exercise patience as the government of Soludo has come to alleviate their plight, adding that he will ensure that every family in Obaru council area receive their fair share from the government. The chairperson of the planning committee of the conference and a former special advisor to the governor on education, Dame Chinyere Mbakwe, noted that the will of God is supreme in every life endeavors, challenging mothers who are home builders to allow the will of God to be done in their families by being prayerful.
So the message I have to give to the public, especially the women, is for them to know that everything you are doing, make sure that that thing is the will of God.
Some of the delegates at the conference, including Mrs. Ada Anugo and Mrs. Esther Okafo, thanked God for a successful conference, commending their president, Dr. Mrs. Ama, for the well-chosen team and promised to live out what they have learned at the conference. High point of the conference was the presentation of an award of Deborah of our time to Dame Mbakwe and presentations by the women of the diocese. From Iowa Odepe, Obaru Council Area, Emengino Sadebe, ABS News.
But you can follow us on news and programs on ABS and from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page. You follow us at the Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com, ABS Television Oka, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradio.com. Top stories once more as we conclude this news package. Anambra Deputy Governor has encouraged youth others to embrace farming for food sufficiency. We also told you that Anambra State government has launched Operation Show Your Building Plan. And that's it on the breakfast this morning. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ijoma Uche. Do have a good week.